Brickmaniacs, welcome back to another episode of Brickmania TV. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for joining me, Cody.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
Today on Brickmania TV, Cody is showing off his all-new C-47 Skytrain.
C-47 Skytrain.
Wow.
That's what this
cool.
is. Yeah.
It is cool.
Okay.
How cool is it, Cody?
See you next time.
See ya. That's it. That's the episode. You've been waiting for quite a while to build this thing, haven't you?
I have. It's definitely one of my favorites, just because it looks cool.
Especially in the invasion stripes.
Yeah. Invasion stripes are fun. Second time making invasion stripes in my life.
Ever?
Ever.
First time was?
First time was the D Mustang.
Yes.
P-51D Mustang.
There we go.
So, yeah, second time doing invasion stripes. It's fun. It's nice when you can brick build things into models.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Rather than sticker
what's
things.
an invasion stripe, Cody?
That's what these are.
Oh, that's it.
That's it. No, they paint markings on their airplanes, which is what a lot of countries do, so they don't get shot by their own guns.
Right.
Yeah, this is the C-47. It was based off of the DC-3 civilian airplane, and that was built in, or was put into production in 1936. And the C-47 had its first flight in December 1941, and it created a role as a military transport aircraft, and played a big role on the D-Day invasion.
That's right.
Where it released a lot of paratroopers over the beaches of Normandy, or Normandy, France, over the beaches, farther inland.
Yeah, so right now we are focusing a lot of our models on that D-Day era. So.
Yeah, we're doing 1944 this year, so this fits right in with that.
Mm-hmm.
And this
is kind of one of the quintessential kits for D-Day.
Yeah, so. It definitely is, and it's popular. It's still used around the world.
Yeah. Today
in some other countries. It served some time in Vietnam as a gunship, where they mount 3 miniguns.
There's been a lot of requests for the a gunship modification.
That'd be cool.
So.
And I got a lot of requests for like add-on packs and things like that, but it would be a completely different build because of all the color changes that would need to happen to make it more.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the invasion stripes. So.
Yeah, it's a highly involved process of brick building color schemes into like that. So it couldn't just be an easy add-on pack where you could do that. But maybe in the future, we could do a camouflage Vietnam version with miniguns sticking out the side. I have also seen versions with 50 calibers, like clusters of 50 calibers sticking out the side. Also really cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah, for D-Day.
Why don't you spin this thing around?
So this would have a crew of 4. You'd have a pilot, co-pilot, navigator, and radio operator.
Right.
And then whatever troops you could carry. You could carry up to 28 troops. For the D-Day invasion, you would have 12 jumpers per aircraft. And the reason for that is because every paratrooper is about weighs about twice as much as the normal human being. They have like 150 pounds of gear, and they also take up more space in the aircraft too.
How about we go over some interior details to start off with?
All right. So we have, so mind you, kit does not come with any figures. We have all the figures sold separately, but you still can fit a full crew in here. Mm-hmm. And you can fit 2 pilots in the cockpit. And also, I think it might be easiest just for me to take this whole section off, which is what it was designed to do.
I always think that's the kit was designed to do that, not the actual air.
Right.
Just for clarification.
I mean, it may have happened, but it wasn't designed to do that.
Right. No, I always think it's cool how your kits maintain structural integrity despite having like half the fuselage off of it.
Fuselage. Let's see if I can pop it off. I mean, yeah, there we go. Wasn't too bad. Wasn't as bad as I thought. So I included a radio room. I know. I gotta see if I can.
You can do it.
I gotta see if I can get camera guy to.
This thing's decently, for its size, it's decently swooshable. So that's pretty cool.
It is pretty swooshable, and yeah, for its size, because first thing I made that was a comparable size was the B-17, and this has a lot more structural improvements to it.
Oh yeah.
Wings are stronger. I think overall it's much more simple to build.
That's cool.
So yeah, I learned some lessons, and made a lot of improvements structurally.
So yeah, you're taking what you had learned on that B-17 build and kind of improving it and applying some stuff to this model, which is kind of a cool generational thing.
Yeah, I'll get in that in a little bit, some things I've tweaked.
Sure.
But we do have some printed radio elements. I don't know if camera guys are really going to be able to see too much of that, but they are in the kit, and they're the same ones as we had in the B-17.
Yeah.
So some repurposed artwork in there. So you can have a navigator, radio operator in there, and a pilot, co-pilot right next to each other. It's a tight squeeze, but they do fit. Cockpits just, they get so small so quick. You think it's a really big airplane until you build the cockpit and realize it's maybe only 6 bricks wide at the widest.
Well, I mean, in real life, it's a thin sheet of metal airplane, but for Lego, you have to deal with a brick, which is like, that would be like a foot thick or something like that in real life.
Right, yeah.
So,
definitely.
Some limitations.
So you can fit all 12 troopers in there if you want to, and we do have the red light, green light to the jump lights next to the door there.
With that cool fabric detail to kind of protect the pull cords, or what are those called?
I know, and I just asked Slam what it was called, and now I can't remember. Door matting.
Door matting.
Canvas door matting. So they put this, there's just a small detail. I mean, it's obviously exaggerated on this model a little bit, but it's just a small piece of fabric that they would put on the door because they would take the jump door off.
Right.
It's actually a door within a door. So they'd take that door off, and then they would cover some of the sharp metal and the door latch.
Right.
So when you jump out of the airplane, your parachute cord doesn't get caught on that, because that's what pulls the chute out of the bag. You don't have a rip cord at that day and age. So,
well, so you don't want that. You don't want your parachute cord like cut as you're jumping out.
Right.
Then,
yeah.
You know,
so for a precautionary thing, they stuck that on
You
there.
did include the door in this kit, which is.
I did, yeah. Sorry.
If you want to build that onto it.
So it depends on what you wanted to do. This is just floating in the kit model. It's a door. It has a hinge on it. All you have to do, there's the hinge.
You can choose to build it with the door, or you can choose to build it open. So.
You can just pull this panel off, put the door on there, remove the door matting. So if you wanted more of a cargo transport version of it, it's just a really simple modification you can make. So feature-wise, let me put this back together real quick.
Sure. Get that door out of the way.
Get that door out of here.
Yeah, of course, you can see from this side that really cool stepping detail of the invasion stripes in that tail. It's cool seeing you transition from kind of studs up in some spots to studs out to studs down. It's
studs up, studs out, studs up, studs out. It's kind of how I built the whole thing backwards.
Right.
Especially starting with the nose, it was.
So you can see it
was a fun
studs
dance.
Up right here, studs out right here.
Yeah, the more comes into play in the front.
In the front, actually, is a lot.
Studs up, studs out, studs out, studs out.
It's just back and forth. I always thought it was cool seeing the transition from studs up to studs out in like one level, but you're actually doing it over the course of like 3 or 4. So I hadn't seen that before, which is awesome.
It's mostly built out of curved slopes. There's a lot of curved slopes in this kit.
Okay, you got it back. Oof.
Yeah, you have to line up. I think it's 6 studs to get that back on, so I'm trying to get them all lined up. I think I did.
Nice.
Ta-da! Yeah, so some features. I have ailerons out on the sides of the wings, and to make this function to go up and down, because I typically don't when I build an airplane. I usually just have them go down, because I like having a clean top to the wing. But for this one, all he did was you just pull it out a little bit. It's on a bar with a clip, so you get a little bit of elevation with that.
And if you want it to be a bit more flush, then you push it up against.
And it's pretty close.
Yeah.
So it's up to you how much playability you want with that, or how much you prefer the look of it to be. We do have elevators in the back, and there's an example of where I just have it go down.
Yeah.
Because I like having a clean top.
Right.
And then the rudder also functions. And that was really challenging.
Yeah.
Because of how the rudder is cut out into the stabilizer.
Yeah, it's not just a straight line.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's that. Tail wheel will pivot. It's on a friction pin, so it won't follow too well. But it will follow if you do want to drive it around, taxi around, if you want some added playability to it. I do have flaps underneath. See if I can hold this without dropping it.
And it's a funky barrel roll that you're doing.
So, posable flaps.
And of course, you can't forget the awesome landing gears.
Oh, right, landing gears. Oh yeah,
That's always like a struggle in any build, right? Just the landing gears are some of the hardest part of an airplane.
Yeah, and thankfully this one was rather simple, just because there's no door that covers the landing gear, a lot like the B-17 was. So in order to have the landing gear retract up, you can collapse these little elbows forward, detach from the back there, that bar, and it'll tuck right up. And that's really all it does.
Straighten that out a bit.
Twisty.
Might be pushed a little bit far onto there. There.
Nice.
See, it recesses very nice. And it's actually, for how few pieces, like pretty dang strong. So.
Yeah, so there's I was concerned with it being strong or not strong enough to hold up the model. So I did devise a way to,
if you want some additional strength.
It might want to collapse. I was afraid of it collapsing just under its own weight, but that really wasn't a factor. But if you do want, you can just twist these two pieces so it'll no longer want to
you can't even
bend
collapse
there,
it.
so that knee won't buckle.
Very cool.
If you needed to do that, you can. I also devised a way to take the wings off.
Oh.
So if you're trying to store it, if you have a lot of models in your house and you're lacking space, you want to display it at a different time,
sure,
or transporting it to a show, to an event, you'll see in the instructions how it's done. It's really just one connection that holds on these wings.
Yeah.
It's really simple to take the landing gear off, pull it out, and you can serve a ton of space.
So it's really quick to break down. That's cool.
Yeah. I do have some radio and radar antenna underneath.
Very nice.
Some specific things to D-Day. I don't know a lot about it, so I'm not going to make a fool of myself talking about electronics and things, but I did notice there were some inconsistencies with what antenna they had on the aircraft at any different time.
Sure.
But everything I saw with D-Day, they had antenna here. I think they pretty much always had them underneath.
Right.
Definitely had them on the sides, didn't have that horseshoe looking one on top, or a couple of them on top.
Right.
And to my understanding, I think they had these on to be more stealthy. I think they would just tuck.
It's 4 on the front, or?
Yeah, there's one on either side.
Okay.
So I think they were a different frequency that the Germans couldn't pick up, and it was just so they could talk plane to plane, more so. Didn't need long-range communications when you have thousands of these airplanes flying in formation and you're trying to sneak up. As much as you can. I mean, you're never going to sneak up. There was no stealth capabilities really back then. So
just a bit less noticeable. We got some printed elements and some stickers as well in this kit.
Yeah, we have printed elements inside. I know
radios.
Do have some printed stripes just to complete the look on these rather large slopes here. And we do have the
fuel ports
there. Yeah. And other than that, we have sticker artwork. We have that canvas door matting that I mentioned earlier. I have different stickers for the insignia on the sides. There are like 3 famous ones that I kind of picked out. So you have options on your sticker sheet as to what airplane you want, and as well as different nose art. If you don't like Sassy Siskind, then you can put some different nose art on there.
What do you like Sassy Siskind?
I love Sassy Siskind. It's my favorite thing to put on an airplane. Right. Yeah, so you have a lot of sticker options.
So again, this is
otherwise.
just the basic model. We do have minifigures available separately if you'd like to add some, like a crew to your model, or some airborne. Want me to show those off quick?
Yeah, actually one cool thing. I did have a really cool piece. I was really excited when I made the exhaust on here. You may recognize that as the Lego shooter piece.
The shooter.
It's just missing its shooter little mechanism.
Nice.
I was really excited to use that piece because no one knows what to do with that piece, and I finally found a use for that piece. Aside from using it as a shooter, it was one of those greeble-y things that I was able to incorporate.
It's cool working with, the nice piece usage. So
yeah, NPU. I love that. Okay.
Yeah. With that. Anything else?
I don't think so.
It's just obviously gorgeous model. Totally jam-packed with details.
Oh, it is kitted out how the B-17 was in bag numbers.
Sure.
So tearing it apart and opening it up, you do have numbered bags, and you know what section you're building as you go through the instructions, because I find that easier, especially for who's ever building it, because otherwise you're looking through so many dark bluish gray pieces, especially the curved slopes. So to separate out into bags, so it should be an enjoyable build.
Right. Cool. Very cool. On to the standalone minifigures. So it's like, yeah, in the past we've included minifigures in the kit. We kind of go back and forth depending, you know, how popular we think a standalone figure might be. Sometimes figures will be much more demand just by themselves, and we think that's the case because we freaking love pilots and paratroopers and stuff.
Right.
But you know, we could have included like what, it's three crew? How many crew? 4 crew?
4 crewmen and 12 jumpers.
So it's like, but you know, that's gonna like increase the cost of the kit by like hundreds of dollars. So it's kind of,
yeah,
it's a tough call sometimes. But in this case, we have some standalone available for you. First one is just a pilot right here, and he's got that life preserver with the parachute harness, some printing underneath the arms, and this is interesting. This is a D-Day, like a Normandy invasion specific pilot. Generally, pilots would not be wearing those leg wraps, those gaiters, but for the Normandy invasion, there was a very high probability of them getting shot down. So they're actually wearing underneath that leather jacket, just like a standard infantry uniform, including those leg wraps, so that in the event, if their plane goes down, they'd be joining up with the regular infantry on the ground if they survived. So that was kind of some they're preparing for the worst, and so you don't always, you generally don't see that on pilots. So it was just an interesting thing to note. Yeah. For that one, decked out with just kind of cool. And then on to the airborne minifigure. We'll have full reviews we'll have some standalone reviews for these figures as well, but airborne guy, and he's holding a perfect caliber M1 carbine, and I don't even know where to begin on this guy, because he's got everything.
Literally everything's printed on there. It's so cool.
I think the printers did one of the best jobs I've seen them do, so it was cool working back and forth with them. Texture printing on that helmet to get that med kit on the top and the front of that. You'd see that on there. And this is from the inspired by the Filthy 13 paratroopers, and they're just kind of
So he's got that cool mohawk.
Crazy bunch of dudes. So yeah, mohawk, face painting. I mean, these would be intense to see those guys on the ground. So
it comes with that helmet and the M1.
Not the M1. M1 sold separately. Perfect caliber. But yeah, it does come with that helmet, and it comes with that mohawk.
So one of the reasons we kept the pilot standalone is because if you bought a B-17 in the past, all the crew kind of look the same. They're all pretty much, if not identical, print jobs. So if you wanted to update some of your crew for the B-17, you could buy one of these figures and include that, and also buy a crew for this too. So we just kind of left it out there in the open.
So, we're unbelievably excited. These are some of the coolest releases that I think we've had kind of all at once. So very excited for this week.
So it's an exciting year.
Absolutely. 44 is nuts.
Oh yeah, so much stuff happening.
So with that, I guess in the comments, if you wouldn't mind letting us know what you want to see from 1944, we'd love to hear from you. As well as make sure you are subscribed to this channel and make sure to like the video, all that cool stuff. So, anything else, Cody?
Something about me is going to change soon.
You're gonna get a mohawk?
We'll get. No, I don't know.
You're gonna have a mohawk?
Maybe. We'll see.
Something about you.
Comment what you think is gonna happen.
I don't know. What are you talking about?
I'm getting a haircut.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
So on that note, we are ending the episode. Cody's getting a haircut. For more information and for additional hairstyles of Cody, check out brickmania.com. Thank you very much for watching.